It was confirmed a couple of weeks ago, the latest version of the Tesla Model 3, and many people have already ordered it from the Tesla website. I'm Frugal Tesla Guy, and we're going to take a look at some of the latest video of the latest version of the Tesla Model 3 coming out of China. So it's nothing new. It's been out and been known about for the last several weeks, if not the last couple of months, but it was confirmed on the website a few weeks ago, and you could actually order the latest version of the Tesla Model 3. And of course, a lot of people have already done that. Of course, it did have a few changes to the exterior, to the interior, and of course, under the hood, if you will, as well. But all in all, it's what some people like to call a refresh. Now, they are coming out of the factory as we speak, and there are rumors that some people have actually seen them come out of the Fremont factory and then kind of going out in delivery. Now, I believe they're offered in China right now. In fact, there is a YouTube channel called Upcar that did a video because they were able to get their hands, at least in a showroom of a Tesla Model 3, and showed some video of the car and kind of talked about some of the new features. Now, they were kind enough and gave me permission to use video and footage from their video. So let's check out some of the video and kind of analyze what we're looking at here so you can kind of see the latest version of the Tesla Model 3. Now, the first thing, of course, that they mentioned and looked at was the exterior of the car. And they first took note of the new headlights. Now, they're the new LED headlights. I'm not exactly sure what they offer at this point, but of course, only time will tell once people start using them. They also pointed out the new sport wheels. Now, you can upgrade for, at least on mine, it was $1,500 to get the sport wheels. And I really like the look of them, the ones that I have on the previous version. It's debatable on the new ones. Some people like them, others don't. It's just kind of personal preference. They have a flatter look to them than that of the previous version. And there may be a reason for that. Some have a theory that maybe it adds more range. They're a little bit more aerodynamic. Maybe they're lighter. Who knows at this point? But in my personal opinion, I actually prefer the ones that are on my car, but I still think they look pretty nice. Another thing, of course, is the black trim. Some people like to call it a chrome delete. Technically, it's not, unless you actually have chrome at first and then you delete the chrome. But of course, that was the cool thing that people really liked about the Model Y. Now they've added it to the Model 3. And my guess is because a majority of the materials that are for the Model 3 and the Y are similar. So this may be one thing to kind of help in that process. But overall, I personally like the look of the black trim. There are others who do like that chrome, so they may be hanging on to that. That being said, I just recently did a chrome delete with the chrome delete kit from Test Bros. So I'm in the process of editing that video. I have finished the chrome delete itself, so be sure to look for that video. Once it's done, I'll be sure to post a link to that in the description below. Kind of a nice video to kind of show you how difficult or easy it is, actually. Another thing that they pointed out was once they opened the doors, they were able to show the laminated glass, as they called it, or what a lot of people are calling it is the dual pane windows. Any way you look at it, it's a more robust window based on what you can see in the video. When you compare it to the original windows, there is clearly a difference, and this, of course, is going to help in what Tesla Model 3 is really notorious for, and that is the road noise inside the car. So these new windows should help dampen some of that noise and help some of that road noise. Also, another thing that people have been complaining about since day one is the lack of a power liftgate in the Tesla Model 3. Now, of course, over the last few years, and not too long after the Tesla Model 3 came out, there were third-party products that came out for not only a power liftgate, but a power frunk as well. So those are great products. Now, when they were showing the example, they didn't show too much about it, so you weren't able to hear how quiet it was or how loud it was. But one of the things he showed an example is it kind of closing on his shoulder. And one of the things that he had mentioned is that there certainly was a lot of force that came down. Now, once it stopped and he pushed the button to kind of get it started again, it did, of course, then finish and then ended up closing. So that's really a great feature, an added feature that has now come standard on all Tesla Model 3s. Now, if you don't have the latest version, know that there are other great products out there, such as the ones that are offered by Tesla Offer and Amtech. They're kind of a joint company, and they, in my opinion, make the best power liftgate and power frunk out there. And of course, they're always making changes and improving them. I just recently replaced the one that I had previously with the Tesla Offer Amtech. I absolutely love it on my frunk, and I plan on also eventually changing out the trunk as well, the automatic trunk from Tesla Offer and Amtech as well. Once I post that video and get that video out, I'll of course be sure to let you know. All right, another thing that they had pointed out when they'd opened up the trunk is that there are now holes in the weather stripping. Now, another thing that was kind of a flaw in the design of the original Tesla Model 3 is when you would open up the trunk, and if it was raining or there was water or beads of water on the back pane glass, that water would then fall down into the trunk. So, of course, you can buy aftermarket products that kind of help divert some of that water. Unfortunately, it's something that you can see. What Tesla has done is they've changed the weather stripping. They put holes in it, and hopefully that should help reduce at least the amount of water that gets into the trunk. So that's kind of a neat feature. That's not something you can really do with the Model 3 now, with the way that the weather stripping is. Unfortunately, that's just kind of the way it is with the previous version. They also then started going into the interior of the car from there. The door button that opens the door now has a symbol on it to indicate that it opens the door. Now, that was easily fixable. That's something I put a long time ago on my door. And I'll be honest with you, it hasn't helped. People still use that emergency opening. And the thing is, it's a natural reaction for people to look for something to pull, not to push when they open a door. So they naturally want to lift that emergency open or handle, that is. And unfortunately, a lot of times people still do that, even though it still has that label on there. So time will tell if that helps. But I've noticed in my car that honestly, for the newbies, it doesn't really help that much, and they still tend to go for that other handle. All right, another thing that I mentioned as the steering wheel, I believe they're now using the faux leather again, and according to the person in the video, it has a better feel to it. Also, the scroll wheels are not made of rubber, and kind of the ones I have on mine are more of a rubbery feel. The ones that they have now in the Tesla Model 3 is more of a metal. So they're going to have probably a more solid feel, more of a tactile feel to them as well. So I think the steering wheel has some minor improvements to it that kind of give it a bit of a better feel. So that'll be kind of interesting to see as well in person. Then, of course, you go to the center console. Of course, that's something that people have known about. There have been a lot of photos that had been leaked prior to everything being released. Now, one of the things that I noticed in this video, and I saw for the first time close up, is it's a bit of a suede material in that wireless charger. Now, I'm not quite sure why they decided to go with that. Maybe it's a little bit more durable. Maybe it keeps that newer look longer. I'm not exactly sure. Now, another thing that I would have liked to have seen and taken note of is whether or not that is something that you can take out and replace with, and is it hardwired? So I'd be curious if there's anything you can do to change the overall look of that suede power charger or wireless charger. Again, based on what I'm seeing in the video, it doesn't look all that appealing to me. I'm not quite impressed with that. But again, it's something you have to see in person. But again, the main question I have still about that wireless charger is, can you pull it out? And can you replace it with something different? Or is it hardwired? Is it kind of something that's kind of a permanent structure in there? And of course, the sliding doors that open and close. Now, one thing that I noticed too is I'm sure that you can still have that deep opening underneath there. One of the things that I don't like about that is the fact that it's not easy access to get back deep in there. The way the console works now is you can open it up and then of course take also lift up the charger as well, and that gives you the easy access to kind of getting the back of the console. Whereas with the new one, it looks like you kind of have to really kind of put your hand in there and kind of dig deep in there to get into the back part of the console. So that may be a bit of a design flaw, but I think overall, once again, it's kind of one of those things, some people love it, some people hate it. Some people prefer the new look, and I'm sure it's only a matter of time that you're going to start seeing people already with even with the new console. People are probably going to put some new wraps on there to kind of help personalize the overall look of it. All right, let's take a look what else they looked at. Oh yes, of course, the glove box, the USB port in there. Of course, they were able to confirm that. And one of the cool things now is, of course, the reason they did that is for security reasons, right? Is so that if a thief does come into your car, that they don't have easy access to pull out that USB drive for your Sentry mode footage, or of course your cam footage as well. Now, you think, okay, it's in the glove box, I can get to it. Well, one of the couple releases ago, Tesla included that if you would like, you can turn on a feature to where you need a 4-pin code to open up your glove box. So that is going to be an added feature. It is already an added feature that you can do for security, so people can't get into your glove box without that 4-digit code. So with now that you're, of course, with the new version of the Tesla Model 3, having that that USB port in there and putting your USB drive in there is going to be an added security feature, so that the thief will not be able to take it, and you'll be able to catch them easier because you'll have footage of them getting into your car. So that is pretty much everything that they covered and looked at from the exterior, interior of the car. Still don't have any look underneath the frunk. Now, of course, this is something that they looked at in it looks like a showroom, so it's not like they could start taking things apart. But I'd be curious to open up the frunk, take out the shell to see if that heat pump is indeed in there. That would be a great confirmation to check that out. But overall, it was really exciting and fun to watch that video. I'll of course be sure to post a link to that video in the description below, and I'd love to hear some of your comments to see kind of what you think about some of the new changes. As a current Model 3 owner, are there some things in there that you might be a little jealous of? Maybe something you'd like to maybe see in your Tesla Model 3? If you're thinking about ordering one, is this something that may help you kind of go ahead and order one? I'd love to hear some of your thoughts about some of these changes and the overall look of the new Tesla Model 3 in the comment section below. Well, that's going to do it for this video. Thank you all so much for watching, and you know the drill. Like, subscribe, and stay positively charged.